You're not gonna jump the shark with the movie canon. Watch Gio. How much fun can you have in a lifetime?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. I'm Giovanni, and this is the very first episode of a show I'm going to call the Cinco Selection. So what is this live stream about, this show about? So I'm going to ask a fellow collector or fellow movie fan, a fellow movie buff, just a member of the community here with us, with the 1/6 community, and I'm going to interview them individually per episode. And what I'm going to ask them is just the top 5 lists of top 5 films of all time, top 5 TV series shows of all time, and for my fellow collectors out there, top 5 1/6 collectible figures of all time. And then for the guests of that particular show, they get to choose which category they want to do. Top 5 of whatever it is, as long as it's appropriate. So that we're gonna have them on here, and they'll present their last category, their own category, as the 4th one there. And that's really what the show is about. It's good to know a little bit more of our community out there, like an interview style type of thing, but just about top 5, because we always talk about this is my favorite film, my favorite show, this is the best figure out there, so I'm just kind of breaking it down with individuals, and let's see, what is your top 5 of all time? And sometimes it might be difficult, or sometimes it's really easy. But that's what I'm going to do that. We'll see how this one goes. The first one here for the very first episode of the Cinco Selection is going to be the one and only Mr. 1 out of 12. So I'm going to bring him in here right now. Well, right after his intro. So here we go.
Since I was 3 or 4 years old, I've loved Star Wars. So we'll keep moving. We're getting into double jeopardy where things really get tense. Iron Man, knowing that the original Avengers are destroyed and the MCU goes down the drain. And also knowing that we destroyed Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Oh, man.
Hey Adam, how you doing?
Hey Gio, good. How are you? Good afternoon, good morning.
Doing well. Yeah,
Depending on when you get up.
Still morning.
Afternoon here, but
yeah, you're 3 hours ahead, and I like your shirt there. Music by John Williams, very appropriate for today. Right?
It'll if keep watching, it'll be very appropriate.
Yeah, I saw your list and I was like, oh, this is all okay. We'll get into the end of it. So yeah, Adam, thank you so much. You're the very first guest of this particular show. Like I say, we'll see how this one goes, but I thank you for accepting the invitation, for being the first one here. Your top 5 films, series, shows, top 5 1/6 scale figures, and do you want to tell us what is your top 5 that you selected?
Yeah. Do we want to go through each one, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do the I think it's TV shows first, movies, 1/6 scale figures, and then the last one is the one that you selected. So that would be the last list there.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll get into we'll show what that is in a bit. Then let me see. So let me go through this real quick, as I usually do on the show. So again, thank you guys for all the channel members out there who have entered the Canon Matrix membership. Is 26 of you guys. Really appreciate every single one of you guys in here. So I'm going to just read them real quick. We have Mr. Yomo, TJ Mike, Blurt That Life, Jay Feezy, Moosinator, Big Rib, Brick Artemis, Collector Joey, my sister Alice, Jairus, or my cousin Ivan, Ash Pool, Johnny Chronicles, VFG Movie Reviews, X-Men Supreme, Blue Tattoo, AJ, Six Scale Mafia, Mr. Chuck, Nerdist Maximus, Robbie, who I know in the real world, Valkyrie Magnus, of course, Mr. 1 out of 12, Mr. Larry Walker, S Beam, Kiki D's, who one of the more recent individuals who entered the Canon Matrix membership, and Manny Fresh, or Anita Dash Manny Fresh. Oh, and Mr. Viking Collectibles, co-producer Harrison as well. So thank you so very much, guys, for being channel members. And then if you are, I mean, I didn't really promote this show that much. So if you are a channel member and you happen to be number one, I'm going to use the Horror Talk credits there, because I haven't added this, because I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing. We'll see how this show goes. So 50 credits, whoever's the top fan number one. If there's significant amounts, at least 5 people in there, then I'll give those credits to those channel members. And yeah, so thank you so much there, everyone. Let's see. All right, let me just move this real quick. And I think I saw someone in the chat. Oh, actually, there's Mr. 1 out of 12 saying, hey, everyone, it's going to be a top 5 day. Hit the like button on the way in. And yes, hit the like button, guys, if you haven't done so already. Would very much appreciate it. It does help with the YouTube algorithm, the stuff that they want over there. And thank you so much, guys. And then we have Mr. S Beam, a channel member, joining us here. Hello, all. Thank you, Mr. S Beam, for joining here on this first episode of the Cinco selection. All right, so let's see what we're going to start with here first. So let me move things around here, because I'm using the same kind of template from Figures Talk, so I'm kind of like moving things around here. But let me see. All right. Are you ready for the top 5 lists, Adam? Let's start with top 5 TV series of all time. All right, so let me put that in here. Hold on a sec. There you go. All right, top 5 TV series of all time. Now, this is all Adam. This is all 1 out of 12. This is his top 5. And we're starting with the TV series, with TV shows. So I'm going to start revealing them one by one. So let's start with number 5. Again, this is top 5 TV series of all time. And there you go. Take it away there, Mr. 1 out of 12. You muted. You're still muted. Can't hear you.
It's just, I keep, every time I move the thing, I tap. My apologies. Rookie move.
No worries.
The movies, the top 5 movies, like were, as I was saying on Figures Talk last night. I can rattle off my top 20 films, just basically off the top of my head. And TV shows, you know, I definitely like have like a top 10, and obviously the 5 of these are in there. But this is a little bit harder to narrow down, and the reason is like, how do I, like, I was trying to, like, do I give weight over adult shows, quote unquote adult shows, versus like the 1980s Transformers cartoon, or G.I. Joe, or Robotech, or some of the, like, the cartoons that I love, that I still enjoy it, like, to this day. Then, you know, so I kind of, you know, there's almost like a separate category of, like, kind of like shows like I enjoyed as a kid that I still enjoy, that I still, you know, collect Transformers, that sort of thing. But you know, like Batman the animated series, something like that. So I kind of went with and the number, like, the top 4 were very easy for this category. 5, my initial number 5 was Seinfeld. And you know, that's, I think, maybe the greatest comedy of all time. Though Curb Your Enthusiasm is really funny too. But I ended up switching at the last minute. I think yesterday I may have texted you, or the day before, to switch it to Stranger Things. And I think the reason why is this maybe is more connected to kind of geek stuff to what we do in collecting. And this also, you know, what I loved about Stranger Things is it made me feel like what I felt like when I in the 1980s when I was a kid and I watched some of those top 5 movies that we're going to talk about, or at least 4 of those 5 movies are from that era. And you know, it just, you know, from the first season of the show, and I think until the very last scene of that show, of the series. And I know not everyone likes that final season. For me, that final season did hit for me, and certainly the last episode really hit for me. And you know, I pretty emotional about it. I remember we talked about it afterwards in Figures Talk. It just like the music, it really, the settings, it to me, captured that 1980s feel, and you know, some of the action and horror and sci-fi movies that the Duffer Brothers, you know, openly paid homage to. I think it's a great show, and it's one of these shows. Like one of the things when I was thinking back on like my top 5 TV shows, I thought, okay, what are the shows that I've watched again and again? I've rewatched Stranger Things like 3 or 4 times. Really enjoy this series. And I actually just got last week, you know, because I collect Transformers as in addition to 1/6 figures. And there's I'll get it in a second here. Transformers Stranger Things collaborative of it. It's a Transformer that changes into the radio show van from the season 5. So and I have the 2 Stranger Things. I ordered Vecna and 11 from 3-0.
Oh,
so those should be coming too. Yeah, I got on eBay.
Oh, okay.
I really love this show. I'm gonna pair them with my Pennywise. I think that would kind of look cool together. So wonderful show. You know, they had a couple. Not everything was perfect, like every TV show. There's some ups and downs, but overall, did I feel like from the beginning of the show to the end of the show that I had a great journey? I really did.
Okay, yeah. I did like the finale. You know, it had issues for sure. Definitely had issues. We discussed it on I think January 2nd, like beginning of the year, and so we discussed it. And yeah, they had some issues, but overall, I really did like the finale. The final season was, you know, off and on, a little odd sometimes, but overall, I did like the series. And we didn't know much about it. And when it first premiered, I think in 2016, I think is when it first premiered, and
yeah,
it looked interesting. I don't remember seeing any kind of like promotion for it, because, you know, Netflix, they usually don't promote their stuff that much unless it's something that they know it's already doing well for them. But like for the first time that they were going to present this, I don't remember much promotion about Stranger Things, and I just saw a little clip from Netflix itself. And I was like, oh, this might be something I'd be interested in, and sure enough, I enjoyed it from the beginning, and now almost 10 years later, we have this finale and a great show, and now it's on your number 5 spot of all time.
And I think this is a show that really made Netflix as a streaming service. I mean, so many people signed on to Netflix, you know, and obviously they've had many other shows over the years that have been original productions that have been big, but Stranger Things was definitely one of their biggest.
Yeah, for sure. That was like one of the main ones. Then we have Mr. Charlie joining us here. Hello, didn't I just see you all? Yes, last night, exactly. Thank you for coming back here, Mr. Charlie, for joining us on this episode of the Cinco selection. And then we have Mr. Harrison, Viking Collectibles, a channel member, joining us as well, saying hello. Hello, Mr. Viking, Mr. Harrison. Also, thank you so much for joining us here today as well. and then Harrison was on the Figure Stock with us last
Yeah.
night. Oh.
So this is the Transformers figure that I just got from Target. You can see the.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
You said this was on Target?
yeah, Target.
Okay.
You know what? I didn't even know it existed until because I besides 1/6 YouTube channels, I subscribe to a bunch of Transformers channels. Just someone I subscribed to did an unboxing of it. I'm like, what? They make this? And I just went on Target and ordered it, and came like 2 days later.
Oh wow! Now, I don't know if they're gonna do this, especially since it looks like 3.0 has the license. But if Hot Toys does it, you're gonna jump on that?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I just got Vecna and 11, and those Vecna looks really good. 11 looks good. I mean, the only issue with 11 is like the joints and the knees, but you can pose it in a certain way that's not bad. I mean, I think 3.0 does some good stuff. If Hot Toys produces, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I definitely, I'm like, there's definitely. My guess is if they're gonna produce characters from like the last 2 seasons. I just my guess, like when they're older.
Would you prefer that, or the earlier seasons?
You know, I think I would take whatever they get. You know, I got no preference either way, because I definitely would like. I really want a figure of Eddie, and like 3.0 like teased a figure of Eddie, but I'm not sure it's ever coming out. I don't know if they still have the license or not. Yeah, it's been a while.
I think since I started collecting, I think I saw it in the coming soon page. I was like, oh, that's coming.
Yeah, it's still on Sideshows coming soon. Yeah, 3.0. Eddie would definitely a figure I really want. Yeah, I think I would definitely get. You know, I think I'd like to see. 3.0 did do a figure of Hopper. They had like a Hot Toys version of that. I think I would get, and they did tease a Red Guardian. That we haven't seen that. Maybe that's coming for Doomsday. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. So for 3.0, I have my Power Ranger figures, the Green Ranger and the Putties. So those are cool for that. The Vecna, I do remember seeing it. It was pretty good from what I can remember. If I remember correctly, it looked pretty good. The 11 didn't look good to me, the one that I saw. But I mean, that's still the only one that we have available right now. But maybe Hot Toys will do one. And I don't think this would happen, but I think it'd be cool if they do I think it's season 2 when they have the kids dress up as the Ghostbusters.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Figures. I think that'd be cool. Don't think that's gonna happen, but that'd be cool. Harrison says, I loved Stranger Things and it wasn't bad, just could have been better. Yeah, that's some of the information out there that I've heard about from other members of the community. You know, like they liked it, but you know, it could have been much better. I enjoyed it fine enough, but he says, I hope Hot Toys makes the final season of Vecna.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Charlie says, for the price point, 3.0 is solid. Yeah, those are usually under $200. That's going to be the case there. But we have my sister Alice joining us here at Channel Member saying hello. Hello, Alice. Thank you for joining us here in the live chat. And Charlie says, I'm a 3.0 Transformers. What?
Simp.
Oh, okay. I thought
He's
it was
a fan. Yeah, I am
okay.
too. I have several 3.0 Transformers figures.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on Stranger Things, Adam, before we move on to your number 4 spot?
Yeah, I'm definitely curious because I'm sure. I mean, we know they're not done with the franchise, and that the Duffer Brothers have talked about another like show in this universe. So I'm curious where they go from here. I'm sure at some point they're going to come back to these characters when they're older. There's just, whether they should or not, I don't know.
All right.
There's just too much money on the table that they wouldn't do it.
I'm sure they probably will do that in the future. Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 4. So, actually, I thought this would be a little higher, but take it away there, Adam.
Game of Thrones. I think again, just a great show. I think a few of these shows are on that are on my. A couple of these shows are on my list. Or 2 of them are on HBO, and I think pound for pound, HBO makes has made some of the best dramas ever. This kind of, if you want to call like the era from say like the late 90s, 98, 99, to present, like peak television. HBO has made some fantastic shows, and Game of Thrones among them. I know there's a lot of hate on the last season of Game of Thrones, and here's my take on that. When we first watched it, like most people, we watched it as it aired over those however many 8-9 years, and I was not satisfied with it when I saw it. We rewatched it, the whole series, as a binge, about a year or 2 ago, and seeing it as a binge, the final season, while still flawed, it goes down a lot better, and actually does. It does make more sense. Like some of the things, I know one of the criticisms I had is that Daenerys Targaryen had a heel turn, and a lot of that stuff was telegraphed from the very first episode. The other good thing about watching it on a second time on streaming is we watched it with the captions on, so some things I never picked up from the beginning that they telegraphed early on. But there's just like some of the best single episodes of a television show I've ever seen are on this, like the Battle of Hardhome, when they are in they're beyond the wall, and there's like that iconic scene where the White Walkers basically turn all those all those people or the Night King turns all those people into White Walkers, and the Night King sees Jon Snow. Jon Snow's on the boat, and the Night King just raises his arms like this, and they all the dead arise. Like, to me, that's like one of the greatest television moments I've ever seen. The Battle of the Bastards, just a phenomenal episode, and like that they're all piled on top of Jon Snow, and it's a great episode. Some of the obviously I think some of the greatest twists in terms of surprise deaths, the Red Wedding episode, Ned Stark, Joffrey, his fate. So I think just a great one of the great shows of all time. I mean, when they did some stuff, like when I first saw them, like, man, I can't believe they're doing this stuff on television. Now everyone's kind of ripped them off a bit in terms of killing off what you think is the main character, and it's like, to me, Game of Thrones was one of the first to do some bold stuff like that. Oh yeah.
Yes, but I mean, I never read the books. Did you read any of the books?
I didn't. No. And I'll say the House of the Dragon is a good show too. I don't like it as much as Game of Thrones, but I do like it. But I love the first season of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That is a really, really good show.
Yeah, I still need to catch up on watching that. House of the Dragon, I still only watched the first season. And I read the book of Fire and Blood. So I read the book, but I haven't I forgot what it was that I just wasn't able. I didn't dive into season 2, and I'm hearing that season 3 might even be better than all the other ones based on what you have seen season 2. But like I said, I haven't seen it, but I'm not sure what exactly they're covering. I know there's parts in the books that I have an idea of what might actually be happening, but But yeah, so that's coming this month, right? I think it's like
Yeah, the new season. I guess is it season 3 or season 4?
I think
I don't remember.
3.
Yeah, that in like 2 weeks, I think it starts.
Okay, yeah.
And you mentioned 3-0. I actually I have like 9 3-0 Game of Thrones figures, and I have the 1/6 scale Beast Kingdom Iron Throne statue. I have my Jon Snow sitting on it. This is a license that I don't know whatever happened. Like InArt was famously they were going to produce figures, and then last we heard they're kind of rebidding for the license. I don't know what's going on with this, but InArt or not InArt 3-0 has some good. Some of the figures are good, some are, but there are some good Game of Thrones figures that they've produced, and some that are not as good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that InArt Game of Thrones license, because that's been a long time since they teased that Daenerys. So we'll see. Any thoughts on Game of Thrones before we move on to number 3?
No, I think we covered that.
All right, so here we go. This is number 3, top 5 TV series of all time. This is Adam's number 3. So here we go.
Say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
Yeah. So in terms of figures, before I talk about the show, I know they've been like, I think 3-0 had some Breaking Bad. There's been some third party ones. I would kind of love I don't have a Walter or a Jesse. I would get if Hot Toys or InArt produce some really quality ones of this line, I would get several. I get Gus. I'd get Saul Goodman. So we talked about shows that Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, that people love, but maybe not everyone likes how it ended. I think, in terms of a series-long story arc and how a show began, how a show ended, this, even though I have it number 3, it may be the greatest show of all time, because this is the greatest ending of the show, of any show, I think. And what they did with his character. I remember when I first started this series, like my wife and I, we watched the first episode. And I'm like, I don't know. And then we didn't, we stopped watching. And then I'm reading, like, people were talking about this show. And so I went back and I watched, I kept watching that first season. And by like the 6th episode, I'm like telling my wife, yo, you got to watch this. This is great. So she got into it. And so that first season's a little bit of a slow burn until you see where they're going. And really, it's the second season where this thing kicks in my view.
It's the closest to a perfect show or TV series.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's, the performances. You played one of the iconic scenes there, Say My Name, or, I think one of the other iconic lines is, I'm the one who knocks. When Walter White's telling his wife, and Better Call Saul is a very good show too, as a companion piece to it.
I like it too, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is just such an extraordinary show.
Yeah, like you mentioned this as well, but yeah, I do think that it's from the beginning to end. Like, there's no weak seasons. Like you mentioned, the slow burn of the first season, I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be a weak season, but it would be a TV series that each story, each episode has something to do with the overall story. There's no filler episodes. Even the one with the fly, even that one, which was, I think, directed by Ryan Johnson, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So overall, this is a great show. It's just like, they just do a lot of things that, this could happen. I could totally see this. being a thing in real life, and
Mhm.
it's just done very well. And you care about the characters, you care about just everything that's going on with the show. So I may have to evaluate. I haven't done like a list of top five series. I wouldn't be surprised after I review everything that I've seen this one would if this one would actually make it to my number one spot. If I were to do my own list on this, but it's awesome.
I mean, in some ways, this really should be number one for me. It's not number one because there's one other show that's got some nostalgia to it for me. But I mean, like I said, if from beginning to end, there's no filler. Even though it is a little bit of slow burn, I think in that first season, it's important to have that slow burn to get to see where Walter White is as a character in that first season. He's a different. I mean, in some ways, you see the seeds of what he becomes. You definitely see the seeds of the character that he becomes. But he's a very different person at the end of that series.
And the showrunner, the creator, Vince Gilligan, right?
Yeah.
He did that new show on Apple. What is it called?
Pluribus. That's an awesome show.
Yeah, so that's another one that he's done,
and he's a writer. He wrote some of the better episodes of the X-Files.
Oh, okay. That's I thought that was the case. Yeah. So for the X-Files, I only watched a couple episodes of the X-Files. I remember watching the movies, but I don't remember much of the show.
First few seasons of the show were good. I think there is like the episodic type. That show kind of came out when just before things started to change in TV, where you still had self-contained episodes, but then they did have the larger mythology of the UFO conspiracy. And I think it's a show that went on too long, and they didn't have a game plan. And I think sometimes that's what happens with a lot of TV shows. They go on too long, and you get a lot of filler. Back then you had 22 episodes or so, 21, 24 episodes a season. Now, if you get 10 episodes a season, maybe 8 episodes, is what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's around 8 episodes. Over 10 episodes, you're like, oh, okay, they really have something to show.
Yeah.
Charlie says Breaking Bad 2008 to 2013, time flies. Yeah, and Breaking Bad, it only had 5 seasons? I think it was only like 5 seasons.
Yeah. And I think, it really wasn't a hit. It wasn't really until after the show hit Netflix that people really, and the show was basically over, or in its final season, that people really started catching on.
Yeah, there's one few TV like dramatic or drama series that I've rewatched more than once, really. But
yeah,
with Breaking Bad, I watched more than twice. I think I watched it 3 or 4 times, which I rarely do. But yeah, it's an awesome show. Any other thoughts on this before we move on to number 2?
And that goes kind of along what I was saying earlier, is that I try to choose shows, TV shows that are very rewatchable. Breaking Bad, I've seen like 3-4 times. I can see it again. It's like a great movie. And some of these shows, all these shows that I've chosen, are shows that I think you can go back, rewatch, and get something new out of it.
Yeah. As Beam says, I almost like Better Call Saul more. Oh, really, Beam? Okay, all right.
I like the show a lot. It's a good companion piece. I don't like it more than Breaking Bad, but I like it. It's up there.
I like it. I do like Breaking Bad more, but I did like Better Call Saul as well. I'm gonna go to the mall later, so in honor of this comment, Beam, I'm gonna get a Cinnabon. So that's it there for number 3.
Yeah, well, in terms of I'm not gonna. It's kind of like there's a show that's it's my number 1 show that had a spin-off show that's not on my top 5, but I really do like. So it's kind of like that, I like the original more, but I love the sequel. I love one of the sequel series a lot too. But I'll say when we get to number 1.
Yeah. Although what was the TV the movie one, the El Camino? I think call it El Camino.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much. Now it's a fine, closure for Jesse. So it's nice to see, what happens to him because it's kind of left open ended in a way for him. But that would probably be the weakest part of if I were to compare the three. But still solid. So we still got some information about that character, which a lot of people like. Moving on to number 2. And of course, we have The Sopranos. Take it away there.
Yeah, woke up this morning, got myself a gun from the theme song there from The Sopranos. This is, to me, you wouldn't have Game of Thrones. You wouldn't have, you definitely wouldn't have Breaking Bad. You wouldn't have a lot of great shows like The Wire without The Sopranos. Because The Sopranos was one of the first shows I've seen that really broke the mold of TV drama and had basically had someone who would normally be, and most people consider the bad guy, the villain, as the protagonist of the show. Charlie just said Mad Men. You wouldn't have Mad Men without Sopranos, and that's a great show too. It's not my top 5, but it's like in my top 20 for sure.
I never got into Mad Men,
if not top 10. The late great James Gandolfini is just incredible as Anthony Soprano. The head of this northern New Jersey crime family. It's funny. It's tense. I mean, there's yes, Game of Thrones killed off major characters. I mean, Sopranos did as well, and just some incredible episodes. Like of course, one of the episodes that most people consider one of the best Sopranos is the Pine Barrens episode, where Christopher Moltisanti and Paulie Walnuts are in this forest area in New Jersey, trying to execute this former Chechen, and it's a great episode. There's another episode called College from the first season where Tony Soprano is taking his daughter Meadow on a trip to check out colleges, and he happens to run into a former member of a former mafioso who became a rat, and Tony goes to kill him. It's such an awesome show, and again, a show I've seen many times, and every time I see it, I see something different.
It always makes me want to have some Italian food whenever I watch an episode.
Like gabagool. Yes.
So, yeah, this is a great show. This is one of the first. It's not the first, but it's one of the first series, I believe, in HBO. Because I think this one premiered in '99. I think the first one was what's the prison one?
Oz.
Oz. There you go, Oz. I think that might have been the first one, but it was that one premiered shortly after that one. And you see a lot of like Scorsese is in there, and mafia stuff, and the mob, and it's just very, very well written show. And the characters, you end up liking the characters, even though they do some very terrible things and stuff like that. But it's one of those that you just you get. Some people could die at any time too. Like something could happen to them, and so don't get too attached if you haven't seen this. I do remember the first season was quite a bit slow, even more so than the Breaking Bad first season. But overall, it's a great show as well. It's definitely top for me as well. S-Beam says, as Sopranos I'm meant to watch, though probably never will.
Oh, Beam, you got it. This is it really is. This is like required reading. This is like required viewing. You got to watch The Sopranos. It really is one of the greatest shows of all time. And
Paulie's hilarious in this show.
Yeah.
I was trying to find
Paulie,
some clips.
Big pussy.
I was trying to find some clips of Paul, like not for this, but like before. I was like, I want to show some clips on my show, on the series, on the stream. And like every clip that I wanted to show, it's like kind of like a little too much, you know. So it's like I probably shouldn't put that in there. And I couldn't really find one that was like somewhat appropriate for me to put up there. But let's see. Charlie said these shows are all very stylish, especially that intro, right? That intro.
Oh, such a lovely. There's nothing like driving. Actually, we've driven on the Jersey Turnpike and played that intro while we're driving on there.
Right. I don't think I ever skipped the intro when I watched the episode.
No.
So,
You know, that's a great point. Like a lot of shows, you have the option to skip the intro when you're streaming,
mm-hmm.
but Stranger Things, Breaking Bad's very short, but even that, like Game of Thrones, I never skip the Game of Thrones intro. You want to hear it because it gets you pumped. You want to hear, in The Sopranos, it gets you pumped for the show.
Yes, definitely. All those shows. Well, like you said, the Breaking Bad is like 3 seconds. It's like really, really short. But all the other ones, those are the shows that I do not skip the intros for, and this is definitely one of them. Alice says, "Have you watched It's Always Sunny? Always Sunny in Philadelphia?" Alice, I think that's what you're referring to. I think I've seen maybe one episode.
I've seen a few seasons. Yeah, it's dark. It's funny, but it's good.
Yeah, I don't remember getting. Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't get into it, but I think I only watched like one episode. Danny DeVito's in that, isn't he? I think he's in that.
Danny DeVito's in it, and what's the guy's name? He's partners with Ryan Reynolds on that soccer team.
Oh, I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I can picture him, but I don't know his name though. S-Beam says, yeah, but I've heard so much and been told the ending so many times, I've lost a lot of interest. Oh, I don't know if I should talk about that here or not. I have my theories as to, I mean, I don't know if it's obvious or not as to what happens at the end, but were you upset about the ending of The Sopranos?
I think a lot of people, when you initially watched it, when it aired live, I was like, what? But, thinking about it, it's and rewatching the series like twice since I originally saw it. I think it's one of the great endings because it's I have my theories, and I'm kind of the showrunner has David what's his last name? He's kind of hinted of what he thinks it is, what Tony Soprano's fate is. But it gives you a sense of what Tony Soprano's, because at that season ended, the feds were about to indict him. It seemed that way. He still had enemies out there, and that his life, whatever time he's got left, it's always looking over his shoulder. That the person sitting at the counter, the person walking into the restaurant could take him out, or the feds can come in any second and grab him. So his life is going to be shit the rest of his life, whatever time he's got left. But I mean, yeah, I've never, ever since seeing that, I've never heard "Don't Stop Believing" and not thought of that episode.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like whenever I hear that song, I think of the last episode of The Sopranos. Okay, the last few minute of The Sopranos. That's what I think of now. Charlie says I couldn't skip BSG intro. Wait, which one is BSG? You guys mentioned
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay. All right. Battlestar Galactica. Oh, it has a little alien there. There you go. That should be the clue right there. I never seen it, Charlie, so I have no idea what it sounds like or looks like. Alice says yes in Philly. Okay, yeah. Also a fun series where the characters are all horrible people. I did get that idea for that one episode that I saw, so I definitely get that idea there. All right, we got to the next one here. Much
three of my 5 shows the main characters, many of them are horrible people. I don't know what that means, but
Is it the case for number 1 though, Adam? Here we
no,
go.
not at all.
Take it away.
So, Space, The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of my favorite show of all time, Star Trek, the original series, with William Shatner, of course, Captain Kirk, Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, DeForest Kelly as McCoy, and all the rest, Uhura, Chekhov, Sulu, Scotty. This is maybe the first drama I ever remember seeing. I wasn't alive when the show originally aired. I saw the repeats in syndication when I was a kid. And I give credit to my Aunt Donna, who got me hooked on this show. I was like 3 or 4 years old. And at the time, I thought it was Star Trek, like a racetrack. I was like, Star Trek. And, from my point of view, even though this show came out, it ran originally from 1966 to, I think, 1969. And then it was not really a success. It was, it didn't get ratings. It was canceled. And then, really the kind of original fandom outcry and kept this show alive. And, of course, they had an animated series, and then Star Trek: The Motion Picture in 1979. Then, it's really revived that show. And when Beam was talking about Better Call Saul, and I can kind of relate to what he's talking about, because even though this is my favorite show, I do love Star Trek: The Next Generation. I like Deep Space Nine as well. I don't like them as much as the original series, but I really love those shows. Yeah, I think Star Trek is as Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones and Sopranos are about some really bad people doing bad things. Star Trek is completely different. There's bad people, there's bad guys, of course, but it's an optimistic show, an optimistic vision for the future, and it's about good people trying to do, sticking to principles of doing good, and an optimistic, vision for the future. It's great theme song. I've gone back and rewatched some of the, this again a rewatchable show. This, it's obviously the show's now like 60 years old, and so it's some of it dated, yes, but it's still incredibly entertaining. Unfortunately, the Star Trek franchise is dead. It just Paramount the last few years under Alex Kurtzman, who's been the showrunner with Starfleet Academy and Discovery, it just absolutely destroyed this franchise. It's unfortunate. Will it come back? I don't know. I hope so. I hope they get new people in there who actually care about the original Gene Roddenberry vision for this show. But yeah, this is much of a nostalgia thing for me. And in terms of action figures, I have QMX before X06, and that guy who runs it got the license. QMX had some 1/6 scale figures, and I have Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Khan 1/6 scale figures, and I have a 1/6 scale captain's chair, and then I do have a few X06 figures from Star Trek. From Star Trek Next Generation, and I have Sabak from Wrath of Khan. But love this series, one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time.
I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of Star Trek, the original series. I saw the J. Abrams movies.
I enjoyed them. I thought he tried making it more like Star Wars, but what I give credit for, I still enjoyed the film. The movies are fun. The J.J. Abrams films are fun. What J.J. Abrams is good at is casting, and I can't take it. As much as I hate on the Star Wars sequels, I cannot take away on the actors and the characters that in terms of and particularly in The Force Awakens, at least, there's some great chemistry between the actors. And I think in the Star Trek films, Chris Pratt and Zachary Quinto and Carl Urban is fantastic as Dr. McCoy. So they definitely, Zoe Saldana as Uhura, they definitely had some great chemistry with those actors. And that, I think that is probably hard to do. And he was able to succeed at that. So I enjoyed those films. But, as someone who has not seen the original series, I don't know how this would land on you if, going back and you hadn't, you see him as a kid, it's one thing, but see now, I mean, there's some great episodes. The two episodes people most cite as the best Star Trek episodes are The Trouble with Tribbles, which is, kind of a more comedic, but maybe I think the best episode of Star Trek is City on the Edge of Forever, and it's a time travel episode, and it's a great what if, basically what happens is, spoiler alert for the 60-year-old episode, Dr. McCoy accidentally gets injected with this drug, and he goes crazy, and the Enterprise is on orbit around this planet where their sensors indicate some sort of time issue, and he goes through it's called the Guardian of Forever, and it's basically a time travel machine. And McCoy ends up in the 1930s New York City during the Depression. Somehow McCoy prevents this character named Edith Keeler, played by Joan Collins, who some people might know from Dynasty. He prevents her from dying in some accident. And she's a social worker in New York City, and somehow his preventing her prevents from dying, causes the United States to not enter World War II, enabling Hitler to develop the atomic bomb before the United States, thus winning the war. And obviously, Hitler taking over the world, and obviously changing the course of history. So Kirk and Spock have to go back and prevent, ensure that Edith Keeler dies. And of course, Kirk falls in love with Edith Keeler, and he stops McCoy from saving her life, and watches her die, so that history is made right and that Hitler doesn't win.
Wow.
And it's like a butterfly effect, and it was really one of the first TV shows I had ever seen that really dealt with time travel in this way. And to my view, it was still one of the best examples of time travel. And in fact, I remember I took a high school course on science fiction. It was like the teacher used that episode as an example of time travel. So just I'm sorry for those of you who've never seen this episode, but I mean, come on, guys, it's been out for
I didn't even know about it. So,
sounds interesting. It was written by a great science fiction writer, Harlan Ellison. I think they did change his original script a bit, and there's some backstory to that, but just an awesome episode.
Charlie says City on Edge is peak, and Twilight Zone is a great series. All right, so
yeah, I agree.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. Now we're going to enter the top 5 films of all time. So we'll start with that. So here we go. This is Adam's number 5. Top 5 films of all time. Here we go.
So it's very appropriate. Today is actually the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, and the invasion of Normandy, the Allied invasion of Europe that ultimately led to the overthrow and destruction of the Nazi regime. And that Saving Private Ryan is it's actually the only film. It's the newest film Believe it or not, this came out in 1997, so 29 years ago. It's the newest film on my list. All the other films are from the 70s or 80s. But the one common thing you'll see is all these films are scored by John Williams, and I didn't realize that until after I gave you the list.
Right.
But this is just, I think it's the greatest war film of all time. Amazing performances from Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Tom Sizemore, Ed Burns, some great Paul Giamatti's got a very small scene, but it's a good one. Ted Danson, and
Vin Diesel.
Oh my God, Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah, this cast is stacked. And first of all, that opening 15-20 minutes might be one of the most harrowing openings of any film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where the Allies are the first wave on Omaha Beach, and just the carnage that was seen. If you, it's just an amazing film, and a lot of people talk about that opening, rightfully so. That opening sequence, what Spielberg did there, and the cinematographer did there. But I also think is great about that film is, there's a line that Tom Hanks at the end of the film says to Matt Damon, who's Ryan, and he says they're Ryan is the last surviving member of several brothers who enlisted in World War II, and they all, except for Ryan, all his brothers died, and so General Marshall, who's the commander of Allied Force, the commanding general, sends in this platoon to rescue Ryan, to bring him home to his grieving mother. And throughout the film, they weigh is all, and out of this platoon, a lot of guys don't make it. Okay. And one of the things they weighed is, are all these lives worth this one person's life? The needs of the many versus the needs of the few or the one kind of discussion. And at the end of the film, Tom Hanks' character says to Ryan, earn this, earn it. And to me, I always took that to be, it's the responsibility, and I think what Spielberg is getting at in this, it's our responsibility as citizens to earn what those who fought in World War II, that greatest generation of Americans, Canadians, British as well, Allies, French, Free French, what they did to save the world from darkness. And I mentioned, I'm fascinated by World War II, and I mentioned that in our last thing there about City on the Edge of Forever, and the decision that Kirk has to make to save the world from darkness, that if Edith Keeler lived and Hitler got into power. Imagine, and this is a fictionalized movie about D-Day and the events after, but if these, there's no question that the people who fought 82 years ago today, they saved the world from darkness, and that our world would be completely different if they got sent back into the, if their advance into Normandy was repelled and they were sent back into the ocean. So, and we all owe them a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid, but it's our job to earn it. So I love this movie, and just John Williams, unlike many of his other films that were more of a bombastic score, the score in this is very subtle, and it builds a little bit. And to me, the power of it is, I've been to a lot of, through my work over the years, a lot of veteran ceremonies, and I can't tell you how many times I've been to a veteran ceremony and they played the theme to this. At that tells me something. This is some early work by Matt Damon. I think it was just after Good Will Hunting. And he's great. Love this movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many war films, but of the ones that I have seen, this is definitely by far the best war film that I've seen, and one of my favorite Spielberg films as well. So this is awesome.
And in terms of 1/6 figures, I do have DID, which makes third-party figures. I do have a Captain Miller figure and a Private Ryan figure. The Captain Miller figure is awesome. The Ryan figure, they didn't do as good a job on getting. It did a pretty good job. I give it like a 7 out of 10. But the Tom Hanks likeness on the Captain Miller figure is like a 10 out of 10.
When this movie came out, I wanted to watch it in the theater, and I still haven't seen it in the theater. I couldn't see it because it was R-rated. So that's why I was still too young to watch this, at least to be able to go in and buy a ticket for it. And I mentioned earlier in another stream that I'm like the oldest of my close family and stuff like that, even cousins. I'm the oldest, so I don't have like an older cousin or family member that I can go and so I really wanted to watch this. So I was like waiting for this to come out on, at that point, I think VHS. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is another Spielberg masterpiece with another masterful score from John Williams. So it's a great film. It's kind of long too, and it doesn't really feel that it's almost 3 hours. So
no.
All right, moving on to number 4.
This is my second Spielberg film on the list. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is Spielberg's dual. I think it's his 4th film. Dual.
Jaws.
Yeah, so this is after Jaws, and this came out same year as Star Wars, 1977, Christmas 1977. I never actually saw this until I was in high school, because I remember seeing like the ads for it, and there's like some tense scenes where like the little boy Barry opens the door and the light's there and they take him, and I was like, it seems kind of scary, but such an this is one of the greatest UFO film that they've done, and I'm looking forward to Disclosure Day next week. I have my tickets for that. Great performance by Richard Dreyfuss. Melinda Dillon, and the music is so important. Like there's the chord that the humans use to communicate with the aliens. The dun 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 dun. It's it's such a memorable tune that John Williams did. The visual effects, and you watch this movie and you just you can feel it's not dated, but you can feel yourself transported back to late 1970s, early 1980s. There's just something about it. It's the performances that Spielberg gets. He's just a great director with actors. What he does, and particularly with child actors, E.T. E.T. is not on my list, but E.T. is in my top 10. And his performances he gets out of Henry Thomas, Elliot, and the other actors in film. And then when he gets out of the kid who Cary Guffey played Barry in this, is just incredible. And then also with the performances and some very harrowing scenes with Richard Dreyfuss's character and his children. See, just again, spoiler alerts for a movie that's 49 years old. The Richard Dreyfuss is like in Indiana. He's like a telephone repair guy. He works for the phone company, and he's out one night, and aliens visit us, and they in certain people, they imprint a message into them, and the message is to go to this spot where the aliens are going to come land, and there's a whole bunch of people who saw these sightings, but Richard Dreyfuss's wife thinks he's losing it, and he starts sculpting the image of Devil's Tower, Wyoming, which is where the aliens are going to be, and there's just some harrowing scenes where his wife thinks her husband's going nuts, and he lost his job, and he's obsessed with UFOs, and the fights that they have. It's like the performance is just incredible. And the French director Francois Truffaut is one of the UFO investigators. This is like this is top tier Spielberg for me.
I've seen this movie, but I'm gonna try to watch it before Disclosure Day. Just because it has been a while since I've seen this movie, but I do remember liking it. But I do want to rewatch it. Not that it's connected to Disclosure Day, but I just kind of want to see an older UFO movie from Spielberg, and then the new one that's coming out in less than a week now. So I'll try to see if I have time to do that. But so that was your number 4 there, Mr. Adam, and we have Mr. Big Rib, a channel member joining us. What's up, fellas? Hello there, Mr. Big Rib. He was on Figures Talk last night, and check that out if you haven't done so already. Thanks so much, Mr. Big Rib. Any other thoughts on your number 4 spot?
No, I think we covered it.
Mr. Big Rib says, I have never fully seen Close Encounters, but I have always heard good things about it. Yeah, so,
check it out.
Spielberg, late 70s. Next one, number 3, is Superman the movie.
Superman the movie, in my view, the greatest superhero film of all time. Listen, there's no mystery here. I think for a lot of people, the movies that are their favorite films oftentimes are that sweet spot of when they're like between 5 or 6 and like 12 years old. And with the exception of Saving Private Ryan, that came out in 97 and I was in my 20s and saw that. But the rest of these films hit that sweet spot for me of how old I was. And I remember seeing Superman the movie. My parents taking me opening weekend, like 1978 at Christmas. I remember telling him I was in kindergarten, and I was telling the bus driver I'm going to see Superman. And I like pretty much all the other iterations of Superman that we've had. I think Dan Cornsfett did a really good job. Cavill, I like his take. It's a different take. Brandon Routh he was good, but he was basically trying to emulate Christopher Reeve. But no one, to me, Christopher Reeve is the GOAT. He's the greatest Superman of all time. And I don't know if there'll ever be another Superman like him for me. There'll be other great Superman, but he is the GOAT. And this film is kind of like, there's like almost like 2 parts to this film. There's like an incredible intro of Krypton, and we never really saw Krypton like depicted like that as we saw in this movie. And then when he lands in Smallville and that whole sequence, and everything that's kind of been based on Smallville is really taken from those few minutes in that film that we've seen. The TV show, some of the other things of Smallville have really come from this film. And then of course the other part is where he's in Metropolis and he's fully Superman, which is like an hour into this film practically. Nowadays I don't think they would wait and keep people waiting almost an hour until you see the superhero. But 1978, when this came out, they did. But it's it's worth it because it really builds up the character. This is again a great score by John Williams, and I did like Hans Zimmer's score for Man of Steel. But this is the greatest. This is Superman's theme, and to James Gunn's credit, he realized that and he incorporated that into his film. Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman. There've been other good Lex Luthors, but I really liked his. And of course, in the sequel, Superman 2, which I also really like. You had Terrence Stamp as Zod, but he had a small role in this. This is just to me, this is the superhero movie to beat all superhero movies, and many superhero movies since then have kind of looked at this as an inspiration to one extent or another. And I do have the Hot Toys Christopher Reeve Superman. That's a very good figure, and I can't wait to get that in art 2-pack.
Oh, you did already order that one?
No, I didn't order it. I'm just gonna get it when it comes out.
Oh, okay.
I'll get it. I'll find it.
I guess the more recent comic book movie release it took almost an hour or 45 minutes before the hero or the actual comic book character to appear is, I think, The Dark Knight Rises. That took like 45 minutes or something like that before Batman actually shows up on screen. So that'll probably be the more recent example of that.
You mean Batman Begins? Dark Knight Rises, I think he was in from the beginning.
Dark Knight Rises. Well, remember?
You're right. No, he wasn't. He was retired. You're right.
Yeah. So it was.
Yeah.
But I think that one took the longest before we saw Batman. But yeah, Batman Begins. Actually, Batman Begins did take a little while too because I was just like starting everything from the beginning, obviously. But that's the one that I remember more recent. Big Rip says, I was 2 years old, but somehow I remember my parents taking me to see at the cinema. Okay, so much of an impact there, right? 2 years old. So Iron Man took a long time, also says Charlie. Yeah, I think so too, actually. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Superman?
Yeah, I just some of the great sequences that two of my favorite sequences in this film are, and again it's the John Williams score, is his flight with Lois Lane, and just the chemistry between Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder is off the charts in this, and it's if you haven't seen this, I mean, this is the GOAT superhero film. I do, if we did a top 10 list, my other two, I do have two other superhero films in it, and that would be Avengers Endgame and The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. Where did it go? Hold on a sec. Oh, here it is. No, here it is. There's the right one. All right, let's move on to number 2. Top 5 films of all time for Mr. 1 out of 12. And there you go.
So this is my third and final Spielberg film on my list in my top 5. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the greatest, might be the greatest action adventure film of all time. As much as I love Han Solo, this is Indiana Jones. I think it's Harrison Ford's greatest role from start to finish. Again, I keep, that's like an echo chamber here. The John Williams theme music is incredible. I just so many great memories. I've seen this. I saw this opening weekend. Now I remember my dad saying we're gonna go see Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then it wasn't called Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. They retroactively changed it to fit in with the sequels. It was just Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he thought it was. I thought it was going to be about the Noah's Ark, not the Ark of the Covenant. But yeah, this is. I remember when I saw this in theaters, like I had to turn my eyes. When the faces melted and the snakes. It was, it was an intense film at the time. It was 1981. This came out for like a 6 or 7 year old kid to see, but it's so great, and again, Spielberg, a fantastic actors director. The chemistry between him and Karen Allen, who played Marion Ravenwood. Some great villains in this. I did not destroy Ford last night. I kept him. I destroyed Stallone.
Yes, that's right.
I would never destroy. Are you kidding me? No, I've never destroyed Ford. So this is, and I have, I have several. I have the third-party Present Toys Indiana Jones, which is pretty good. I have the Metacom Henry Jones Sr., I should say. I have the Sideshow Temple of Doom Indiana Jones. I do have the Hot Toys Old Man Indy. I didn't really like that movie, but I Harrison Ford, and I like the character. And then I have like a 12-inch Kenner Indiana Jones from like when I was a kid. That came out. So I'm a big Indiana Jones, obviously big Indiana Jones collector and fan.
Oh yeah.
And I have a 1/6 scale Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, there you go. Are any of the other Indiana Jones films on your top 10?
No, not in my top 10.
Oh, okay. Top 20?
No.
Oh, okay.
But having said that, Last Crusade and Temple of Doom, I love those films. They're just not in my top 20.
Not Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That wasn't.
I don't think that was a terrible film, but I don't think it's a great film. It's not terrible. Dial of Destiny, no, that was a piece of crap.
The one Spielberg did not direct.
Yeah, I did like the intro sequence set in World War II, and I wish the rest of that film, even though it was like CGI and all that, I would have. If the rest of the film was set in that era, I would have been fine. I mean, the only issue I had with that is that he looked like he more or less looked like he did, or age appropriate in the 1940s, but he had the old man indie voice, and someone who's 80 years old, their voice is not the same as when they're in their 40s or 30s.
All right. Any thoughts before we get to number 1?
No, I think I'm not sure they should ever keep revisiting this. I think, this. I don't think you can recast. I mean, I guess you could recast Indiana Jones, but I don't know if they should, and I think they should just leave it be.
So the number 1 has a asterisk to it, and I agree with that because that's what I would do as well. But this is 1 out of 12's number 1 of top 5 films of all time. So here we go. So take it away, Adam.
Yeah, the original, the Holy Trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. I just can't. To me, it's like they're all one story, and I see them. I know they're individual movies, and I could rank which one is more my favorite, but I don't want to. If I had to pick, which one? Then my top 5 would be 3 Star Wars films. Okay, and those would be my top 3.
Yeah, they would take up like most of the stories.
I wanted to talk about other films, not just Star Wars.
Yes, and that's why I agree with your asterisk, because I would do the same thing.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I had that in there. I mean, this is the first real movie, the original Star Wars, later called The New Hope, seeing in a theater in 1977, and ever since then, I've seen every Star Wars film on opening day, including The Mandalorian and Grogu, 2 weeks ago. And I mean, I wouldn't be where I am as a collector without Star Wars and a fan. This is the the building blocks of who I am. I identify as a, people identify this or that. I identify as a Star Wars fan, and you can see, behind me, everything. It's all Star Wars. I have obviously other figures, but Star Wars is front and center, and it's the greatest, the greatest films of all time. There's, bar none. And anyone tells me they don't like Star Wars, listen, you can tell me you're a whatever party affiliation, whatever, wherever you're from. If you tell me you don't like Star Wars, I will write you off immediately because your opinion is worthless to me. Seriously.
Wow.
I know. Now you can say I don't like certain Star Wars films. I don't like the sequels, or I don't like the prequels, or maybe. But if you say you don't like Star Wars, period, get out of here. Your opinion is worthless to me. I'm not saying you can be an Ober fan, but if you don't like Star Wars, there's something. Seriously, you need to have your head examined. So this is the greatest film series of all time. There's no question about it. Lord of the Rings trilogy is great, but it's not greater than the original Star Wars trilogy. It's not. There's, it's a great trilogy. It's, for sure. If you say trilogies, maybe it's number 2 or number 3 in that trilogy list for sure, but not number 1. And these are the films that changed. It changed film. It changed our culture globally. It changed everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what more I need to say. I mean, everyone said it. Are you ready? And and again, the greatest John Williams score out of all these great scores of all these films, and other films are not in this top 5 list. He had incredible scores to E.T. So much. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but the scores for Harry Potter are great scores.
Yeah.
This is the greatest score for these 3 films. And I like the prequels too, but they're not in my top 10.
Right. Charlie says, Lord of the Rings enters the chat. I would include that as well as an asterisk for if you're going to add that as your top 5 instead of adding them, using up 3 spaces. I would include Lord of the Rings as one spot as well, because it's one continuous story, is very long, much longer than Star Wars, but I would count it as one as well.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. And because they're if you see them though individually, like the Two Towers for me is like an incredible film out of the 3 of them. But yeah, you got to watch them as a whole. Those films, in fact, even more so, like those 3 Lord of the Rings films really need to be seen as a whole. You could watch Star Wars: A New Hope and not see any other Star Wars film and be like, all right, that's a complete film. You probably could see Return of the Jedi the same way, but you can't see Empire Strikes Back because Empire Strikes Back is dependent on the first film, and there's no conclude. I mean, it's a cliffhanger, so you need Return of the Jedi.
Charlie says, one of my top movies, Unforgiven, a great modern Western. Yeah, I remember liking that one. That was a Clint Eastwood movie,
It's a good film.
So that one, I think my favorite Western movie though is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That's mine.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. In fact, I have the Sideshow Gold. His character from that. The Man with No Name, Goldie, whatever they call him.
Yeah, I really like that one as well. I mean, I like Unforgiven too, but I think I like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly more. And that came out in the 60s, didn't it? Like 66, somewhere on there?
Yeah, late 60s, mid-late 60s.
Yeah,
I'd say Good, Bad, the Ugly. I like High Noon, the original High Noon. I like Shane. I like the classics. I like Magnificent Seven. I also like The Outlaw Josie Wales, another in addition to Unforgiven, another Eastwood film. Outlaw Josie Wales is a great film. I would put Dance of Wolves in the Western category. I like that film a lot. And High Plains Drifter is also a great film.
I never seen I don't think I've seen a single John Wayne
Oh.
movie.
Oh, Tombstone. How could I forget that? That's a great film.
Tombstone, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tombstone's great too. All right. Any other thoughts on this? Before we move on to your top 5 1/6 scale figures.
No, I think a lot been said about the original trilogy.
Oh yes. All right, here we go. Number 5 for Mr. 1 out of 12. Take it away.
This is a figure that kind of really surprised me. The armored Batman from Batman versus Superman, and it's just got a lot of presence on the shelf. It's not my favorite Batman, but I actually do enjoy Batman versus Superman, and this suit harkens to one of my favorite comic stories, The Dark Knight Returns, which was an inspiration for this. And it just, with the light up eyes, this figure really, this 2.0 really has a ton of presence on the shelf. And, Batman's, along with Superman, my 2 favorite comic characters.
This one I had pre-ordered, but then I canceled it. I was doing like a purge of figures, and that one ended up on the cutting block. But it looks awesome. I was planning on getting this one, but then I had to cancel the in-art Superman Cavill, and this one was for pre-order. So I was like, all right, well, I canceled that one. I'm gonna have to cancel this one too, because I was trying to keep to just one iteration of Batman, and I decided the other version, the Batfleck 2.0.
Yep.
Over this one. But yeah, this looks awesome still. So
that Batfleck 2.0 with that base is
yes,
also a great figure.
I love the base.
They're kind of equally, yeah.
Charlie says, Gio, you need to watch more movies. I need to watch more older movies, like from the 70s and 80s. Like I mentioned before, I'm like the oldest in my immediate family and stuff like that, so I wasn't really introduced to a lot of movies from the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. So I didn't watch a lot of those, and my parents aren't really big movie buffs or fans. Like, they'll watch movies, but they don't really watch them, not like I was, so I wasn't really introduced to a lot of that. So I've seen a lot of movies. It's just I miss some of those bigger ones from those eras and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely should, right? But Big Bird says, I regret not getting the Battle Damage version Armored 2. Yeah, pretty cool. But then, like I said, I will need Superman, and then I'll need Wonder Woman as well. So that in-art one. And do we know if in-art's doing this version? I
haven't heard whether they are or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen that they were going to do that or not, but they might. All right, moving on to number 4. Top 5 1/6 figures of all time for 1 out of 12. Take it away.
So this is Battle Damage Mark 85 Iron Man from Endgame, and Endgame's not on my list of top 5, but it's in my top 10. And after Return of the Jedi, seeing that in person opening day, seeing Endgame was like the second best cinematic experience I ever had. Seeing that opening day. This is the second Hot Toys figure I ever got, and I this is like front and center on my Avengers shelf. I love this figure. When I move, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to like kind of rig it so wire it so it's always lit up, but I don't have it lit up because I don't have the batteries in it. But I just think it's my favorite. I have a few Iron Man figures, and it's my favorite Iron Man figure, and just to me, like, maybe one of the most iconic scenes in the MCU.
I don't have a single Iron Man figure, but if I were to get one, this is the one. This Battle Damage.
The Iron Man figures definitely, like, they feel like there's a lot of, because they're die cast, They just feel heavy. They feel like cool when you like take it out of the box and all that. Yeah, this is an awesome figure.
Does this one have one of the best Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. head sculpts?
I think so. I think the head sculpt is awesome. In my view.
Big Riff says, Unforgiven is such an awesome movie. It gets me in my feels. Open Range is also a good one with Kevin Costner. Actually, yeah, that wasn't bad.
It's a good picture.
With Robert Duvall. He was in that, wasn't he? Open Range?
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Any other thoughts, Adam, on this one?
No.
Moving on to number 3. Take it away.
So, I have a few Darth Vaders, but this is my favorite one. This is the battle damage Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I just think he looks awesome with that cracked helmet, and seeing Anakin's scarred visage. I thought of getting that Mythos one that came out, but I ended up taking a pass on it because I'm getting the Vader on the table from Revenge of the Sith, and I thought that the Mythos one is like too similar to this, and I really like this one a lot. It's kind of tough. Like my second favorite Vader, I have the Return of the Jedi, and that's a great figure as well. It's kind of almost equally as good, but
that's the one that I have.
If you're gonna get a Vader, I'd say one of these two, and they're both home runs.
Yeah, because I was debating because I wanted Darth Vader. I didn't want multiple, like several versions of Darth Vader. I just wanted try to stick to just one, and it was between this one because we see a little bit of Anakin in there and Darth Vader at the same time. But it's like, but I should get one from the OT trilogy, so I went that route and I got the Return of the Jedi one.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think if you're just going to get one, I think the Return of the Jedi one's great because that way you can have him with his mask on. And the great thing about that Return of the Jedi figure is it comes with like these little stands, so you can display the unmasked head sculpt, and you can display the head sculpt with the Force lightning on it, next to the figure.
And I was very tempted to what we're calling the Mythos Vader. I was very tempted in that one. Like I almost pulled the trigger for that one, but I ended up not. But
Charlie, I'm going back. I mean, honestly, I keep going back and forth on that Mythos, and here's why. Because when I get that Vader on the table, I'm most likely going to have him pose with the helmet on, and like the no type of he's breaking free from the table, and I do think it would be cool to have a Vader with the scarred Anakin head sculpt on. That plastic cape looks cool, but that's like too big for me. So if I got it, I probably would just get the basic one with just a cloth. I think it's a wired cape.
That one should be releasing soon. No, I don't know if
you Vader on the table. Yeah, I just kind of noticed. I paid it off except like that last payment on Sideshow, and I got to notice that's like my last payment was scheduled for June 20th or June 25th, something like that, and I just got a notice this past week saying it's been delayed to July 25th or 20th. So I don't know, probably by the fall.
June, September is the window, says Charlie.
I mean, I'm still waiting for can someone please send me my Chewie for Pete's sake? Come on.
That's still so crazy to me. I don't understand that. It takes a bunch of room, but episode 3 Vader looks nice. No, it looks cool.
Yeah, it definitely looks awesome.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 2. Top 5 1/6 figures of all time, part 1 out of 12. Take it away.
So I was trying to decide between this, the TVA Wolverine, and the yellow and blue suit deluxe version with the head sculpt, and I settled on this one. I love them both, just because I mean that sexy body there of Logan there. I mean, it's just a great looking figure. And the silicone body is awesome. I waited so long for a Hugh Jackman head sculpt, and I don't think Hot Toys disappointed in their figures, and just slightly took the edge over the yellow and blue suit. And when I have it on the shelf, I have kind of him in the middle. I have the Deadpool, not the battle damage one, but the clean one, and then the yellow and blue suit on the side. I think this is a really underrated figure.
Yeah, after seeing this particular figure, the I guess the shirtless one here with the silicone body and all that stuff, I think it like opens the window to a lot of things. I think some of you guys talked about maybe some wrestlers. They can start maybe doing those. I mean, they can need to get the license for it, but they can start a little bit of more characters like that. Stuff like that, like maybe like Bruce
He-Man.
Lee.
They're just coming out with, and
He-Man, right? When he's like just basically shirtless too, but he's putting some armor a little bit on there. So yeah, a lot more options there. So I think this kind of like opens the window for all that, or opened the door for all that. But I don't know. There was some kind of issue with that. What was the issue with that they took down those photos or something? The TVA jacket one or whatever.
I don't know. They didn't too much skin. I don't know. Is it I don't know if it's a Disney issue or it's a China issue or what.
I mean, Disney made it technically, but I mean the movie. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of odd, but so yeah, I wasn't so surprised that this was so high on yours. I thought it would be the other one, the yellow and blue.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're about equal, but I just chose this one because I think it's underrated.
Oh, okay. Big Rip says, I said only one Vader for me. Started with Return of the Jedi Vader. Now I have 3 with Vader on the table, coming 2. So 4. Now they all look so cool. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have 4 as well. Big Rib. I have the New Hope, which is kind of right there with I have like on the Imperial shelf there next to the Emperor, and then I have the Return of the Jedi. I have the Obi-Wan, and I have Empire Strikes Back, and I have Vader on the table coming.
Charlie says I have. Go ahead.
I think after that is good, but I'll be good. But I don't know. I am on the I'm on the fence. I am on the fence on this. In fact, I had it ordered, the Mythos. I canceled it, but I'm still thinking about it. But not the deluxe one, because that cape looks awesome, but I don't have the room for that. So I think the cloth would probably fit me.
That's what was selling it for me, the cape. That Darth Vader like helmet look there. That's the one that I wanted. Charlie says I have 4 Vaders, each from clean to battle damage Mythos. Together looks great on display. The top Wolverine is the Deadpool Wolverine yellow and blue joint. That figure slap.
It's a great figure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, that probably is the best figure, but I chose this because I think it's kind of underrated, and I think it looks cool. Looks different.
All right, put your greasy tits away. What is that? Raining sluts. There you go. That's a Deadpool. Thank goodness he didn't come with a tube top. He would have suffered the same fate as young.
Oh my goodness.
So, well, he's not wearing anything, so that's all right. So that was number 2. Any other thoughts on this one before we get to the final top figure?
No.
1 out of 12.
Number 1.
All right, here we go. So
this is Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian season 2, and this is actually the version I have, the deluxe version. It's like right over there. My chair's kind of blocking it. And it comes with a Grogu. And it comes with a battle damaged Dark Trooper. This is the first Hot Toys figure I actually bought. Is it the best Hot Toys figure. No, it's just it's number one for me because it's my first figure, and I love it. So that's it's not the best figure sculpt ever, of course not, but it's a great figure. I think it's the best Luke Skywalker figure. Though the snow speeder one's a really good figure too. Yeah, to me, it's really the sentimental value of having that first Hot Toys figure I got, and it started my craziness after that. Then I got that, and then I got the Sideshow life-size Grogu, and then I got Iron Man Mark 85, which we talked about. It was my number 4 or 5 figure, and then just 3.5 years later, all this.
Right. This was my first pre-order 1/6 scale figure for me. It wasn't the first one that I got in hand though, because I then ordered the Hot Toys Pennywise. So, and then I got that one in hand first, because this Luke wasn't released yet. But technically, this was the first pre-order 1/6 figure myself as well. So. And I like this one too because I could use it as Mandalorian or I could use it as Return of the Jedi. So it's kind of like I get both versions with just this one figure, which I'm using right now as a Return of the Jedi display with my Return of the Jedi Darth Vader.
And I love this because it just captures that, to me, one of the great Star Wars moments when Luke Skywalker appeared in the finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, Charlie says General Grievous top tier figure. Yeah, that was good. I have that one. I have the Hot Toys one too. It's right next to me right here.
I end up. Yeah, I mean, everything I see says it's a great figure. I end up canceling that, mostly over space reasons, and that might be something down the road I may pick up.
I had the Sideshow one, and then I gave it away when this one came out. When the Hot Toys one came out. So.
You couldn't give that away, and you were really trying to give it away, weren't you? You were trying to sell it or something.
I was trying to sell it at first, but after that Hot Toys announcement, it's no one wants that shit. So I was I'll do a giveaway. So I did a giveaway instead of selling it because I wasn't able to. Big Rip says, I love this Luke. He's so versatile. Yeah, can use it for different versions. I consider him as a Return of the Jedi Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And your thoughts on your number 1 all-time favorite 1/6 figure?
No, this is the figure I would never get rid of because, again, first one I ever got.
All right, so we're at the last category of the top 5 lists in this first episode of the Cinco selection. Now the guest picks what the top 5 list is going to be for this 4th one here. So let's go into that one now. So 1 out of 12 said he wanted to do top 5 favorite places of all time.
Yeah, so. I thought of doing, initially I was thinking my top 5 favorite bands or musical performers, but I thought it might be more interesting to do places I've been to and why they're important to me.
Yeah, so we'll get into that in a bit here. Charlie says that's not perfect, but one of my favorites would be Darth Revan. Yeah, so I never got that. It looks cool. I just have no connection to it. I never played the game or, the source that it's come from. So I didn't get it, but looks cool.
Yeah, same. I didn't play that game, so I wasn't really familiar with the character, but the figure looks awesome.
Yeah. So starting with number 5. So take it away there, Adam.
Yeah, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and I've been to Fenway Park many times. I used to live around the corner from Fenway Park when I was in grad school, and this is a picture of my wife and daughter and I I don't know, 3 years ago when we were last at Fenway there with my nephew and my niece, and just it's a great ballpark, small, relatively small park, great place to see a baseball game. So it's one of the most historic parks in baseball parks in the nation, and just a great place to go.
Yeah, I've been there before. I did the tour. I went in 2021 in October. Yeah, that year they didn't make it. They didn't make it to the playoffs, so there was no games played that month. But we did a tour and it was pretty cool. I like going to some of those baseball fields, do the little tour. I was more into baseball like years ago. I'm kind of not that into it anymore, but I was trying to like go to different baseball fields and tour them and just to see them, all across the country and stuff like that if I'm able to. And this was definitely one of them because I know it's pretty like historic and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It was much smaller than I thought.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to have gone to that.
It is a small park, and it's some seats they have like obstructed views. It's built in 1912.
Yeah,
it opened like within like a week or so when Titanic sunk. So it's very historic, the park.
Yeah. So that was a good experience. The tour that I did there, and one of your top 5 favorite places. Moving on to number 4. So take it away there, Adam.
So this is, in terms of Christmas movies, my favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Story. With Ralphie. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. And you can tour. We went to Cleveland, Ohio, a few years ago. And we initially went to go. The Red Sox are playing. Well, then they're the Indians. Now they're the Guardians. And we went to a game, and then we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is under construction. We saw Green Day. They were filming a video outside the hall, so that was cool.
Nice.
And we did a couple of. They have a really cool zoo there. Cleveland's a cool city. Like people go to Cleveland for vacation. Cleveland's actually got some cool stuff. And they a good chunk of the movie A Christmas Story was filmed in Cleveland. A lot of it was filmed in Canada, in Toronto too, but a good chunk was filmed in Cleveland. And you could tour the home that was filmed, and so we went there. And you can see I'm touching a major award there. That's what the old man got, that leg lamp, and just it's just a great film. And I thought the film, even though it takes place in the early 1940s, it does a great job of making you feel like what it's like to be a kid. So if you're a fan of the movie A Christmas Story and you ever get a chance to you go by Cleveland, Ohio, stop by, you can take a tour there. So it's worth your time. You can even stay over there. We didn't do that, but you could stay over there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I never been to Ohio. But I mean, if I were to go to Ohio, it'll probably be Cleveland. But I would definitely go here, visit that if I were to be in that area.
We my one of my brothers-in-law lives in Chicago, or outside of Chicago, and we one time we drove, and it's like from where I live in New York to Chicago, it's like 13 hours or so, and so Cleveland's about 8 hours from here. So we happen to, you drive right through Cleveland to get to Chicago on I-90, one time we were going to Chicago, we're like, you know what, we should go stop. I looked and see what's in Cleveland, and we actually went for 2 reasons this time. It was to again see the Red Sox play, and then my favorite band, Pearl Jam, was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so I wanted to go for that. And they're like, I was looking to see what's in Cleveland, and I saw they had the Christmas tree. I'm like, oh my god, we gotta go.
Christmas Story House, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that they had that until kind of recent, actually, that you could actually go and visit that. Did you see Drew Carey?
I did not see Drew Carey.
Cleveland Rocks, right? Charlie? Yep. Cleveland Rocks. Yeah, I used to watch that show. Mimi. Figure of Mimi. There you go.
Yeah.
Figure of Mimi. Yes. Number 3. There you go. Take it away there, Adam.
Where are we going? You just won the Super Bowl. We're going to Disney World. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, if you live in the West Coast, you go to Disneyland. Here in the East Coast, you most likely going to Disney World in Orlando, which I've been there, a couple times when I was a kid. And then my wife and I actually took our honeymoon to Disney World. And we went a couple times when Emily was little, and she was very little then. You can see I'm wearing my Marvel Secret Wars t-shirt there. Just, I haven't gone since they created whatever that Star Wars land is. So at some point I got to go back down there to go to the Millennium Falcon and all that. I didn't have a chance to see that. They had Star Tours, which I've been on a few times, but I haven't gone to Star Wars. Yeah, just great. I think when this was taken, we at that my daughter was at that age where she's not into it anymore at all. But at the time, she was into the Disney princesses, and we had like lunch or something in the castle, and she was into like all the costume characters come out. And yeah, it's a lot of walking, a lot of waiting in line, but it's obviously a great family trip. And go ahead.
I went to the one that you were referring to that you haven't gone to, the Hollywood. I think it's the Hollywood.
The Hollywood Studios in Orlando I've been to. Yeah, I mean I've been to Epcot, all those. I haven't been to the Star Wars land or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, so that's the one that I went to. So I didn't go to Disney World, like the main park. I went to the
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, there you go. But I went to the one that has Galaxy's Edge. So I went to that one, and then I went to that one too. It says Gatorland is underrated in Florida, says Charlie.
I went there. My dad took me there when I was a kid. I have photos of my dad and I hanging out with like the entrance, like a gator, and like holding like the jaws like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree, Charlie.
Yeah, that was cool. You definitely got to go there. Well, there's a lot of places to go in Orlando, so that's in that area. All right, moving to number 2. So take it away there, Adam.
As a movie that may have been number 6 on my list, didn't make the top 5, but another Spielberg film, Jaws. So Cape Cod. Love Cape Cod. Been there many times. I haven't been to Nantucket. I've been to Martha's Vineyard, where they filmed part of a good chunk of Jaws. And we go to Cape Cod a lot. We're actually planning on going in August for a week. Love the Cape. If you haven't been to Massachusetts, it's different. I think the beaches in the East Coast might be a little different than California. Just the one time I went to San Diego. Just Cape's a great experience. Very relaxing place to go. Anytime I go somewhere, I always try to find like the geek stuff, and it's like we'll do like a tour of like the comic book store, see what I could find, going on like a whale watch, like see dolphins. The other thing we try to do is try to eat New England clam chowder or chowder at every place we can go to. Try to do taste tests, and we usually stay like an Airbnb or something, and I'll grill. Yeah, I love going to the Cape.
I want to go there someday. I haven't been there, but I would like to go there. And then your number 1, which we'll get into in a bit. But any other thoughts on this one here?
No, just a great relaxing place to go to.
Are you plans of going there again soon?
Yeah, we're going in August for around our anniversary.
Okay, that's right. Okay. All right, go to the last one here. Number 1, Adam's favorite place of all time. So there you go.
Favorite place is the Grand Canyon, Arizona in general, but Grand Canyon and in Sedona, Arizona. It's just like incredible. The rock formations there are like being an East Coast kid and growing up in living in New York, and I lived in Boston for a few years, but the landscape, there's forests here. We have mountains. I live not far from the Adirondack Mountains. We have the Berkshires in Western Mass, but it's very different. We're also, not far from the ocean, like, 2.5 hours from the Atlantic Ocean. And obviously Arizona is not far from the Pacific, but the desert is very different than here. And, the first time I went to Arizona, I was just like marveled by the desert. And, the one time I went to California, it was like when I went to Palm Springs and we drove down to San Diego to the Comic-Con. I was very in awe of just the different landscapes and scenery. And like the Grand Canyon I've been to a few times, and to me there's a reason why they call it like one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it's indescribable. And we took like a selfie picture, but the pictures don't do justice. If you ever had a chance to go to the I haven't been to the North Rim, which is near Vegas, but the South Rim, you really owe it yourself. And then take like about 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive to Sedona, kind of in between Flagstaff and Phoenix, Arizona. Sedona is just a beautiful place. It's really, again, a relaxing place to go to, and you can do hiking, sightseeing. There's a lot of some of the Native American tribes had like these like rock cave formations. Like we've gone and checked those out, like the Anasazi or whatever. And you can do these different tours. And when we saw in Flagstaff, on opening night, I saw Avengers Endgame at the it was like a Harkins theater. It was on the Navajo reservation there.
Oh.
And that was a great experience. Seeing again, like I said, second best movie experience, seeing Avengers Endgame opening night. We happened to be on vacation, and like I said to my wife Milo, I'm like, I gotta get tickets. We got to see Endgame opening night, so I got tickets for the Harkins there in Flagstaff, Arizona. But yeah, you got to check out Sedona and Grand Canyon, and then also right near this area on I think that's I-10, off of I-10 is like the old Route 66.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you go to Winslow, Arizona, which is not far from Flagstaff, there's the Meteor Crater. Have you ever seen the movie Starman?
Oh.
That's where they filmed the meteor, like 25,000 years ago. A meteor hit, and there's this huge crater, huge hole in the ground, and that's cool. And then Winslow, Arizona, became famous for as a line in the Eagles song "Take It Easy." Standing on a corner of Winslow, Arizona, is such a fine sight to see. My girl in a flatbed Ford. It's so they have this whole like corner there where they have like, they've kind of really leaned into the Eagles. I'm a big Eagles fan. The band, not the football team.
Right.
So, yeah, I love the desert. Love Arizona. And just as a movie thing, one time we went down to I've been to Arizona a bunch of times. We drove down to Tombstone, Arizona. As I said, we mentioned the movie Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. We did like this. It's kind of a touristy town, but if you're into westerns, that was a fun trip. Near Tucson.
I still need to go to Grand Canyon. I've never been, and it's not that far from me. I think it's like a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, it's got to be close to you.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours. Are you able to like ride a donkey up there or something like that?
You could. I mean, you could. I mean, you could go hiking. I didn't do any of that at the Grand Canyon. We just drove to the you just drive and to the different stops along the South Rim.
Okay. All right. So So that's it for the top 5 lists for Mr. 1 Adam 12. Lots to discuss. A lot of things in there that I'm a fan of as well. Some of these places, like I said, I haven't been to. There's 1 or 2 that I have, but yeah.
It's funny. That Cathedral Rock is beautiful in Snowden, and we did take a Jeep tour going up one of the mountains there, and it's yeah, you feel be going up the rock. You really feel.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, you better take some of your Dramamine if you get motion sickness.
Oh wow, yeah. Let's see. So that's it. The first episode of the Cinco selection, top 5 list. One of our fellow collectors, movie buff, movie fans, and whatnot. So Adam was the first one here. So thank you for your time, Adam. It was nice going over your lists. I'm sure there's a lot more other stuff that you love if we were to have a wider range, but great selections.
Well, thanks for having me. I always like talking about I always like talking about myself. So, I always enjoy chatting with you, and I think I think I gotta interview you and see what your top 5 is.
Let me see. I thought I had your social media stuff ready, but you got anything else? Anything going on, Adam?
Well, we're done with this. I'm gonna go to the supermarket and pick up some steaks to grill. Oh, you mean this? I'm getting my Mondo Superman and Lois on Monday, I think. I'm looking forward to that. It's my first Mondo figure, 1/6 scale. And then look forward to if you're doing a show Friday night, look forward to joining you for that. And Thursday night I'm gonna see the next Spielberg film, Disclosure Day. So I really look forward to seeing that. And I did see. I think I mentioned this on the show last night. I did see Masters of the Universe. It's a if you like the toys, you like the cartoon, it's a fun picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it at 3 today. A couple hours. I'm gonna go see Masters of the Universe. And Disclosure Day, I'll watch it on Thursday.
Same.
I think I'll do like a little non-spoilery discussion at the beginning of Figures Talk probably Friday. So I might do that. But that's coming up there. But yeah, Adam, thank you. Like I said, for joining me here in this first episode of the Cinco selection. Just trying to get some more fellow collectors, in the community or movie fans and stuff like that, to just talk about their top 5 favorite things and stuff like that. So the next one is going to be X-Man Supreme. So he'll be for episode 2. I haven't exactly figured out the dates. Might be next Saturday or maybe the following Saturday. I'll talk to Mr. Dave so we can set that up. So that'll be the next one here. But again, thank you for your time, Adam, and then we'll see you on Friday on Figures Talk, and then we'll talk about Disclosure Day. Hopefully, it's great.
I hope so. Knock on wood.
Yeah. And
Buzz is good.
you guys, right. But guys, thank you so much. If you watch this live or if you watch this in the replay, thank you so much as always. Thank you to all the channel members for supporting this channel, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.
Have a good day.